Blandford Street is a pedestrian shopping street located in Sunderland city centre. The street contains many independent businesses and traders, but has arguably, owing to the decline of in-store retail in the United Kingdom, seen better days, with a large portion of the street now being occupied by charity shops. However, it wasn't always this way. Blandford Street has a grand history, one which dates back almost 200 years. The street, first built in 1840 as the settlement of Bishop Wearmouth rapidly expanded and began to merge with the town of Sunderland in the east, was named after the Marquess of Blandford, a nobility currently held by the Spencer-Churchill family. At that time, however, as old Ordnance Survey maps show, Blandford Street was not a shopping district, but a set of houses. Towards the latter half of that century, Blandford Street evolved into a destination for traders and retail, as the opening of the new Central Railway Station in 1879 next to Waterloo Place, which moved from Burden Road, made it a prime spot for business. A few years later, the Blandford House Pub opened. With these changes, the golden age of Blandford Street commenced, which saw the stretch dominate the town as one of its prime retail locations. Most of the shops in Blandford Street were family-owned small businesses, which ranged from grocers to jewellery shops to bookstores, music, chemists, fashion and so on. This boom would last until the 50s and 60s. By the 1980s, the street was pedestrianised, giving it the style we see it today. However, starting in the 1990s, Blandford Street began to decline. There are several reasons for this. First, in this period, Sunderland, despite being made a city, suffered economically from the loss of its traditional industries. Second, the structure of habits of UK shopping as a whole have changed in a way which disadvantage small businesses. The latter half of the 20th century seen the rise of gigantic supermarkets and retail conglomerates, which placed the kind of traders found on Blandford Street at a critical disadvantage. This, combined with the creation of the Bridges shopping centre in the 1980s, dramatically changed the centre of retail gravity in the city, isolating Blandford Street and reducing its clout. For example, if the Bridges has Superdrug and Boots, a family chemist on Blandford Street was going to struggle. Or, on the other hand, the rise of Next, Primark, etc. has hurt small clothing retailers. Third, further negative changes to the British economy have hurt retail nationwide. This has included the impact of the pandemic in 2020, poor growth, surging inflation and costs of living, all what have harmed smaller businesses struggling to pay rents. This considered, what Blandford Street plausibly needs to undergo a revival is not more generic shops but more focus on attracting cafes, bars, restaurants and niche urban-style sellers to the area. With a targeted strategy that aims to refurbish its buildings and refresh its run-down feel, there is little doubt it can become one of the more attractive streets in Sunderland again.